Today, we're investigating a multi-million-dollar hidden economy that is literally hiding right beneath our tires. We're going to be looking at the fascinating and frankly pretty surprising business behind free parking. Let's dive right in.
Put yourself in the driver's seat for just a second. You pull into a local shopping center, you find a great spot, turn off the engine, and walk right in. There's no ticket, no meter, no annoying app you have to download. You pay exactly zero. Now, if you're like me, you probably just naturally assume this parking is a free amenity, right? Just a little gift for your convenience.
But here is the strange part, and it's the question we really have to ask ourselves. So who pays? Because maintaining that land, laying down the pavement, painting the lines, keeping the lights on, that costs thousands of dollars. Absolutely none of that infrastructure is actually free to build. So who's actually footing the bill for your spot? Well, the answer is hiding right inside the building you're about to enter.
Which brings us to part one, the illusion of free parking, and how that cost moves inside.
The secret lies in a concept economists call the turn. Basically, this is the core economic principle where a business provides free parking simply because getting you through their front door is worth far more than charging you to leave a car outside. Malls and retail stores are highly incentivized to just eat the parking cost up front, and they quietly embed it directly into the prices of the goods you buy inside. So you do pay for parking, you just pay for it at the cash register.
Let's move on to part two, 4 models of parking, because as it turns out, not all asphalt is equal. To really understand this dynamic, we first need to recognize that free parking basically operates under 4 distinct economic models. First, you have the standalone retailer. Think of your local big box supermarket, where the lot exists just to make that one single store accessible. Second, there's the shopping center, where parking serves as shared infrastructure for maybe a coffee shop, a pharmacy, and a restaurant. Third is the massive mall, which attracts shoppers who generate sales for dozens of different tenants. And finally, you have the paid alternative, which completely flips the script by forcing the customer to calculate if the trip is actually worth paying a parking fee.
And honestly, making a customer do that mental calculation has massive consequences. I was shocked to learn about one study showing that introducing a mere 50-cent per hour parking fee near a Starbucks reduced their customer traffic by an astonishing 30%. Literally just 50 cents. That tiny decision to charge at the gate generated a few quarters, sure, but it completely destroyed the much larger revenue stream waiting inside the store.
All right, part 3, the true cost of asphalt, or the invisible price tag. So what does this free infrastructure actually cost the businesses trying to avoid that massive drop in traffic? Let's put some real, frankly shocking numbers on this. If a hypothetical shopping center decides to build 500 parking spaces, they aren't just pouring a little concrete. Between the land, the pavement, drainage, lighting, and landscaping, that initial investment can easily hit $4.5 million.
When you break that down, that is a staggering $9,000 just to create a single parking space. Before a single car even rolls into the lot, the business is already deep in the hole for thousands of dollars per spot.
But it doesn't stop at construction. When you factor in annual maintenance, lighting, cleaning, repairs, security, and insurance, which averages around $250 per space, you're looking at another $125,000 in expenses every single year for that 500-space lot. That is a massive ongoing financial burden.
This perfectly sets up part 4, the bundled parking effect, and removing the friction.
The famous parking economist Donald Shoup notes that this massive cost essentially disappears into the property's economics to reduce customer friction. Think about it. If a business tries to sell you a product and a parking spot separately, it creates a psychological hurdle. You might happily spend $4.50 on a coffee, but if you had to pay $3 for parking and then $1.50 for the coffee, suddenly the transaction feels tedious and expensive. By bundling them together, the whole thing feels completely effortless. The invisible price is always the easiest price to ignore.
On to part 5, the customer conversion machine. It's not a parking lot, it's actually marketing.
This brings us to a complete flip in how we should view these spaces. Imagine 2 identical shopping centers. One decides to charge for parking. They might make a tidy $150,000 profit at the gate, but because they added that friction, they lose $900,000 in in-store sales. It's a net disaster. The other center offers free parking, earning exactly $0 at the lot, but driving massive revenue inside the stores. The parking lot isn't a profit center, guys. It is a highly tuned conversion tool. The lot acts precisely like a marketing funnel.
It is specifically designed to pull people nearby in, turn them into casual visitors, transition them into active shoppers, and finally convert them into buyers. The asphalt literally does the exact same job as a television commercial. It's just a lot heavier and flatter. It influences the probability that you will buy.
Let's look at Part 6, Hidden Costs and Risks involving land utilization and behavior.
Now, this conversion machine isn't perfect, and these lots have 3 major drawbacks. First, they eat up incredibly valuable real estate that could otherwise generate revenue. Second, to handle the absolute busiest shopping days of the year, excess capacity is built. This means huge portions of the lot sit entirely empty for 11 months out of the year. It's like a restaurant keeping 500 chairs empty just in case there's a rush on Black Friday. And third, scarce or difficult parking actually changes behavior. If you make it too hard to park, customers won't wait around. They will permanently drive away to a competitor.
Which leads us to Part 7, the break-even math and justifying the asphalt.
So how does a business mathematically justify spending millions on something with zero direct revenue? Let's look at a hypothetical example. If a parking lot costs the store $180,000 a year to run in maintenance and security, that sounds super expensive, right? But if the store earns an average of $12.50 in profit from each customer visit, they only need their free parking to bring in roughly 40 extra visits per day to completely break even. Just 40 extra cars pulling in every day covers that entire $180,000 expense. Anything beyond that, pure additional profit.
And finally, Part 8, you are the customer, the final reveal.
This math reveals the ultimate truth about every single free parking space you have ever used. Free parking isn't free. It is simply a customer acquisition expense. Its cost is recovered entirely through the sales it helps generate. It functions exactly like a highway billboard, a television ad, or an expensive loyalty program.
So the next time you pull into a massive shopping center parking lot, remember this. You are not the consumer of the parking lot. You are the product the parking lot was built to acquire. They aren't giving you a free gift. They are investing in the probability of your purchase.
I want to leave you with this final thought. Knowing the multi-million-dollar invisible economics hiding right beneath your tires, and understanding the incredible psychological machinery at play here, will you ever look at an empty parking space the same way again? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep looking for the hidden economics in your everyday world.